Hey everyone, welcome to Mondays with Vish. I'm Grant Cohn. That's Vish Kumaran. As you can see, he's out of his parents' house and he's in his college apartment making moves post-pandemic. Good to see you. How you doing? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. See, this is the thing. He's got that McDonald's
Yeah, I
Wi-Fi.
missed what you said, but yeah, I am out of my parents' house. I heard that part. It's yeah, I do
Yeah,
have the mixed morning. So right now I'm on the
hotspot.
hotspot right now. We'll see how long it goes. I think the other solution to this issue I might just have to take my phone outside and see how long I can go outside on the old data on my phone. But hopefully we don't have to get to that point because I think we're
Okay.
doing okay right now.
I think we're doing fine. As long as we can hear you, it works. All right, Vish. Um, Now we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo 2 games, and maybe it's too much to say that he's regressing, but is it fair to say that he hasn't improved?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think a lot of people, especially Jimmy Garoppolo, if you remember after his 2019, that was his first season in the Kyle Shanahan offense, and a lot of people said that they expected the Matt Ryan leap and all of that. And I think that maybe that those expectations were a little over ambitious, a little bit over generous. Garoppolo isn't as talented as Matt Ryan as a quarterback and certainly doesn't have Matt Ryan's prior experience before taking that leap. I mean, Ryan was a Pro Bowler before he went to Kyle Shanahan in the first place. He was rookie of the year. He was a really good quarterback even before he joined up with Kyle Shanahan. So I think those expectations were a little bit unfair. But I think overall, in terms of what Garoppolo has been, even though we've only been able to see him for a limited amount of time, I think hasn't improved really kind of sums it up. I
Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead, keep
think
going.
the
Sorry.
six throws we got to see, the one drive we got to see, it was the full Jimmy Garoppolo experience. At times, it looked really good. Like the first and his release looked quick and everything, and then you're like, that's Jimmy Garoppolo. Then at the same time, you got to see the other aspect of Jimmy Garoppolo where, he was throwing high. He was a little skittish in the pocket. He had happy feet at times. He looked um a little bit like I don't want to say I think the word I'm looking for is indecisive. That's something you see quite a bit see him. And then you also got to see another good throw. Like I thought the throw where Brandon Ayuk got held on that he went through the front side and he found his one-on-one matchup on the backside of the concept outbreaking route. I thought it was a good ball, especially if Ayuk doesn't get held. So overall, in six throws, we got to see what we 32 games that he started for the 49ers. And I think that at some point, even though he has a limited amount of starts, he's 30 years old. He's a guy that has already had a serious injury in his past. I think maybe we just have to accept him for what he is. And what he is it right now isn't a bad thing. It's a starting quarterback in the NFL that's solid and you can win with him. But he's never, in my opinion, going to be that top 10, top 12 type quarterback that they paid him to be.
Yeah, I think what stands out with him is that he makes the same mistakes consistently. He's been making the same mistakes since he got to the 49ers. The interceptions, the poor decisions, the lack of field vision, and you don't see him expanding on his skill set at all. He's not more accurate. He's not more comfortable in the pocket. He doesn't go through his reads quicker. He doesn't read defenses better. I think he's pretty much leveled off. And I'm not saying it's all his fault. I think the Niners need to look at themselves too and maybe think about why none of the quarterbacks they've coached have really improved significantly since Kyle Shanahan got here. Maybe some of it is on them. But I do think that we've seen a guy who's totally leveled off. And I think that's why, even if Trey Lance isn't demonstrably better from him from the pocket right now, the assumption is Trey Lance can improve and should improve. And it seems pretty clear that Garoppolo hasn't and won't. Now, real quick with Garoppolo, you said that you still see him as a starter. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure. I think he may be going the route of Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who has started, but maybe playing his way to the bench And I think he'll get more chances to start down the line, but I feel like he's always going to be few interceptions away from getting benched if this is what his career trajectory is going. So I'm curious to see what happens to him. He might bounce around the league and play for a bunch of teams. Let's wait for Vish to catch up and hear all of it. Did you hear any of that, Vish? He's still listening. Okay. He's listening intently too. You can look at that. See, look. This is weird. Oh, Vish. Oh, well. I don't know if this is going to work, Vish. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, Vish. I think this is a false start. Wow, look at him. I can't end the show until he gives me some type of 2-blink acknowledgement that he hears me.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah. I don't think this is working, man.
I hear you.
Okay. Did you hear what I said? Oh, he's gone. And he's gone. I think Mondays with Vish might have to be Mondays without Vish today. I think we're going to call this Mondays without Vish. I'm so sorry. I wish Vish could be here, but he's in college and this isn't his full-time job. So should I just keep going? We'll get Vish next time. Mondays without Vish, starring Grant Cohn. All right, here's my point I want to make about Jimmy Garoppolo. We just said it, but he's not improving. He has flatlined in his development. He makes the same mistakes every day. He's limited in his skill set. He's not getting more mobile. His arm strength isn't getting better. His pocket presence isn't getting better. His ability to read defenses isn't getting better. He's not getting better. The Niners share the blame in that one. Well, I'm going to talk about the coaches a little later. But Jimmy also, the other thing about Jimmy, he makes these mistakes, and what do you see from him? He's smiling. He does a lot of smiling for a guy who throws a lot of picks. Hold on, let's see what. I don't get that. All you do is, all you see from him on the sideline is, like, dude, you've thrown 10 picks, 11 picks in camp. What's up with that? Do you care? Are you trying to, get picked until you get dumped and sent packing? I don't know. I just don't see how he's improved. Oh, we got Vish on the move. We'll give it one more chance. What's up, Vish?
All right. I told you the backup plan was just going outside on the phone.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day here in Chicago, but I heard more or less what you were saying. And when you were asking me to acknowledge you, I was trying to acknowledge you, but you weren't hearing my acknowledgements.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, this is better now. This is better.
Yeah, this should be way better because I'm just on data out here.
Okay, that's cool. So all I was saying is that the other thing about Jimmy that's kind of gets me is that while he makes the same mistakes all the time, all I see from him on the sideline in games, in practice, is a big smile. Like, life is grand, and I just don't get it. It seems like I'm not saying he should be really pissed about what's happening in preseason, but I can't tell that he really cares. I can't. I don't know. It's strange to me. Strange.
Yeah.
I would be frustrated by throwing the same pick every day. Me.
Yeah. The pick, I guess we can touch on the pick. It was the thing we didn't really talk about in our opening thing. The pick, I heard Shanahan after the game, he put it on Brandon Ayuk a little bit. A lot of people put it on Ayuk, but to be frank, the ball was just high over the middle of the field. Ayuk was open, and he just threw the ball high, right? It's not a great throw, whatever you want to say. Should Ayuk have caught it? Probably, especially when there's a lot of people that regard Ayuk as, at this point already, as a true number one wide receiver and possibly the most dangerous receiving threat on this team, more so than even a George Kittle or a Deebo Samuel. You expect a guy of that caliber to make that catch. Mm-hmm. But it was not a great throw, and that's where I go back to how many times have we seen balls high over the middle of the field? How many times, do we see him be a little skittish in the pocket? I thought we were taking actually a progressive step forward, honestly, from what we saw in 2020 when he was so skittish in the pocket with that run. The run was decisive. He got out. He first actually did an excellent job moving forward in the pocket to avoid the sack. That was awesome to see. And then
the run was his best play of the game.
Right. He tucked the ball and he went and got 11 yards, and he actually looked pretty quick. I was mistweeting.
The best run of his career.
Yeah, I was tweeting like, wow, Jimmy Garoppolo's got a little spring to his step. He looks
Yeah.
so heavy and slow-footed in both 2019 and 2020
Yeah.
compared to in 2017, where he actually had really light and quicker feet. Where I thought maybe, there's some sort of thing coming back. The brace is gone. I was going to tweet something along the lines. And the next thing you know, he gets picked off on the throw to Ayuk. So I just scrapped it and went away. But in terms of hasn't improved, I think you brought up the coaching staff. I just asked the question of maybe Garoppolo, this is just his ceiling. This is just the
Yeah.
player who he is. Like, what can they do to honestly make him better? Because, I mean, his arm isn't getting stronger. He isn't
Yep.
getting more athletic. And you would assume that he would improve mentally, but mentally he's remained
He's missed a lot of time, and you
essentially,
only improve
yeah,
mentally with reps. Yeah.
right. And
He's
even in the
missed a lot
reps
of
he's
time.
had,
Yeah.
essentially, he continues to make similar mistakes. He continues to miss underneath coverage. He
Right.
continues to make decisions that make no sense. He continues to not to miss and miss anticipating windows that could open up based on pre-snap looks and stuff like that. And those are the kinds of things that he has to excel at for him to
I
improve.
just
Because
want to say
again,
real
his
quick, I rewatched the thing last night. I mean, this morning, I rewatched his drive, and to me, he had a very nice throw to check on the first play. He had a very nice run, but the rest of his reps weren't so good. I mean, in the pocket, it seemed like he was reacting to pressure that wasn't there and not setting his feet. And then I thought he was missing high. I mean, the throw that he missed to Ayuk, who ran the out route, he missed
yeah,
high. The throw to Werner had to leap. He was 10
right,
yards away
right.
from him. I really wasn't that impressed with Jimmy Garoppolo, the way it looked.
Yeah, I mean, it was only 6 throws, right? So it's difficult to be impressed or
Right.
unimpressed. And
Because if you cut
going
off
back,
Trey Lance after 6 throws, it'd be like, dude, the sky is falling.
right, and going back, I keep going back to the one throw that I wish I got to see if Brandon Ayuk didn't get held. I thought that was a good throw to Ayuk. If Ayuk doesn't get held, I thought that
Oh,
hits
the
him
one
right
over
on
the
the number
shoulder?
11.
Yeah.
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 So that on
Right.
3rd and 7, so that was an okay throw. But again, it goes back to like we're nitpicking
The
6
check down
throws,
on 3rd
right?
and
But
4, that was rough.
yeah, right, right. But the
That was
overall
rough.
inconsistencies, these are the things that we point to. These are the reasons why the 49ers have been kind of overly ambitious about constantly trying to upgrade the quarterback position.
Yeah.
It's not just because of injuries, because they tried to do it the year before when he was coming off a Super Bowl season and before he had the ankle injury, and he only had one injury in his career in San Francisco. So because of all of those things, I think at some point we just acknowledge who he is, and who he is fine. I understand we have differences on whether he's a starting quarterback or not. I believe solely on what he does on the field and based on his talent. You look at the injuries and say, well, I don't think you can have the conviction to start him, right?
All I'm saying is I think this interception streak that he's on could put him in the Fitzmagic thing where he gets benched because of throwing picks, goes somewhere next year, wins a starting job, plays well for a while, throws picks, gets benched, and kind of goes through that cycle for a while. Maybe not. Maybe he finds some stability somewhere else, but I wonder. But that's ultimately not the Niners' problem.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, it's his career at this point. It's goes beyond the Niners, right? As much as we like uh um
Did I lose you?
things for the Niners, and he's been a good player and all of that. They got Trey Lance, and this is the present, the future, and everything.
Okay. Derek says, do you think the drop passes had anything to do with Trey not getting reps with the starters and them not being used to a fastball? Oh, that's a good question. Vish, black screen. Was that a choice or did you drop out? Oh, man. He's back. He's gone. He's like Elvis. He's left the building. There he goes.
No, I'm here.
No, he's back. There he is. Dang, Vish. Got to get you that unlimited data, Vish. Okay. Give Vish one more try. Do I think the drop passes have anything to do with Trey not getting yeah, I think it's part of it, but I think it's possible that Trey's passes are really hard to catch. He throws really hard. Yo, you there?
Yeah, my bad. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I got a phone call, and then everything just went out of whack
Oh, okay.
because I got a phone call. Yeah, my bad. But the question was about Trey Lance, the drops,
Do you
because
think
he
the
throws
drop
the ball
passes have
too
anything to
hard.
do with Trey not getting reps with the starters and then not being used to a fastball?
He's gotten reps, right, more or less with Ayuk. He worked out with Debo in the offseason and Ayuk in the offseason and Mostinu in the offseason. So I think at some point they should be used to his kind of ball. I was listening to Chris Sims last week when he talked about Trey Lance's first game, and I thought he brought up an interesting point. I'm not saying I agree or disagree because, frankly, I'm not sure. But he said Trey Lance's ball is really difficult to catch because he doesn't throw a spiral and he throws the ball really hard. It's really hard for receivers to catch it. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not exactly sure. That's just an answer I heard somebody else give, but I'm not sure what's right or wrong in this situation personally.
I'm not sure I've seen Jimmy throw a slant allowing a rack since he hurt his knee. That second TD throw by Trey is not the one I think is not one I think Jimmy can make. That's fair. Second TD throw to Benjamin was hell of a throw. Hell of a throw.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable throw, and he looked off the number 31. I'm not sure if number 31's a safety or a linebacker, but he looked him off and just an absolute strike.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about Trey Lance. I've been very positive about Trey Lance, but let's be honest with what we saw the first two preseason games. In the first preseason game, he threw too hard on the underneath stuff. Like he threw short passes too hard. The arm strength was really
Mm-hmm.
impressive on the 80-yard touchdown run, but he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to throw every pass like that. And then in this game, I thought he did the same thing. He settled down with his final 9 throws, but even a lot of his completions were freaking rockets that Trent Sherfield made a nice double catch, or Sanu. Benjamin made a nice catch. Those are missiles. And I'm a little concerned given the fact that Nick Mullins never really improved. CJ Beathard never really improved. Jimmy has plateaued. We anticipated a lot of improvement for Trey Lance because he's young and this is a good system and it's a good coach. But I don't know. Have you seen? Are you concerned about how much, whether he can reach his potential here?
I'm not concerned at all because I do want to bring up one thing because we talked about this briefly, just maybe a couple minutes on the phone as a possible topic we could do and all of that. And I didn't remember this when we talked about it. He did have one throw with phenomenal touch, and that was the whole shot against cover 2 to Trent Sherfield that he dropped that down the pipe. That was a beauty.
That's true.
And that ball had a ton of touch. So, like, I do think if we're going to evaluate, just 14 throws and say all of them were hard. That one throw, 1 out of 14, is almost 7-8% of his throws so far. So we do have to acknowledge that, I would say. So that
Good
did
call.
have
That was a good throw.
good
Yeah.
touch. But what I'm gonna say about his improvement is I'm not concerned because you talked about the improvement. I do think there's ways he can improve without necessarily reaching his full potential as a drop back passer, right? The idea that
Yeah.
makes Trey Lance so intriguing, and I think you know, I tweeted about this because a lot of people were really upset after the 1 out of 6 start with the 1 interception. Like, after, especially given how Justin Fields has looked, given how Mac Jones has looked, given how Zach Wilson has looked. Those 3 guys have looked absolutely terrific. They look like veterans in this preseason with the confidence, the decisiveness, and the accuracy that they're playing with. The one thing that I tweeted out was that the Niners' current offense that they've been running with Trey Lance is not the offense we're going to see him in. And part of the reason they drafted him is because he's a phenomenal runner and he's unbelievable in play action. I mean, the little we've been able to see of him in play action, even in this preseason, we can already see how natural it is for him. Whether it was the rolling out to his left, the bootleg to Richie James, talk about a ball that had great touch rolling out to his left. That was a pillow softball. So there's one more. That's 2 for 14. And then, of course, he did throw a rocket to Richie James, maybe a couple throws before that went through his hands, and people were getting mad at Richie James, but he has no chance of catching that ball. Trey Lance is literally 4 yards away from him, and it's just throwing that ball 100 miles an hour. That's an impossible catch. But I've been kind of scattered around. Going back to whether he can improve, apologies. What I was going to say is I think the ultimate thing is it goes back to the offense they're going to use him in, right? They're going to really highlight his running ability. and they're going to really highlight him in play action. And as long as they're able to do those things, I think he can get better even doing those things. Like, I think his accuracy in play action, even though it's already quite good, it can get even better. And I think as a runner, he can get even more comfortable. He can get stronger, more explosive as an athlete because he's just 20 years old or 21 years old. So I think there are ways he can improve. I'm not 100% sure if I can hedge my bet here that he will fully improve as a drop back passer. But I wouldn't isolate that situation just to the 49ers and Shanahan, because one of the reasons I wasn't 100% in on Trey Lance before the draft is because I wasn't sure he could fully reach his potential as a drop back passer before the draft.
Yeah. Okay. I still feel that although he did show the touch on the roll to the left and the whole shot against cover two, he doesn't need to throw the quick slant throws that hard all the time. And I think the Niners need to be working on that with him. That's one thing that I'd like to see improvement from him. I think it's an easy fix or a simple fix or something that they need to address because it's important. So that's one thing. But then that's all going to go into whether he becomes a quarterback who's worthy of the number 3 pick, who's worthy of being drafted ahead of Justin Fields,
Right.
because Justin Fields doesn't have these issues right now. He looks good. So all I'm saying is I like Trey Lance. I like to me right now, he's a top 5 arm. He's a top 5 arm strength. He's top 5 in arm strength in the league right now. In terms of quarterbacks who can run zone read, quarterback design runs, I think he's top 5 right now, although he hasn't played a game. I think that's his skill set. And then when you add in the ability to throw on the run to anywhere in the field, that makes him really a unique player. The only guys who can do all those things to me are him, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray. And you can win a lot of games with those guys on rookie wage scales. Trey Lance is 28th in QB cap hit right now. Thing is, for them to be worth the second contract, you can't run the zone read all the time if you're getting $40 million a year. You got to transition into being Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if Lance will ever do that, but what they're going to do with him, the way they're going to use him in the zone read, he'll be really successful. He'll be good enough from the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, we are 2 preseason games into his career and about 20 practices. So, I mean, to be fair, you've seen a lot more of him than me, so you can form a little more of an opinion with a little more conviction.
Well, arm strength is velocity.
I mean, I've seen 28 throws. Right. But I'm saying in terms of his ability to improve and project, I cannot even say that at this exact moment, just because I look at Carson, right? We thought Hall of Fame trajectory after 2 years. Nobody expected this regression. So I just think a larger sample size is definitely needed to project Trey Lance, especially given that we had no sample size in college. And then there was one article written by Eric Branch earlier in the summer, and he was talking about Trey Lance. Apparently, he didn't have a lot of throws in high school either. I'm interested to see, because he's really intriguing, because, again, his traits are unbelievable. It's just, will he reach all of them?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love his particular skill set. To me, it's the one you want. It's Michael Vick's skill set. It's Colin Kaepernick's skill set. And you'd be like, well, they never developed into great quarterbacks. You don't have to. You on this rookie wage scale, if you're getting $6 million a year and you can run the zone read, plus you can get outside the pocket and challenge every single level of the field with your arm, you can do a lot of damage. It's the issue is, can you become the guy who doesn't run the zone read and make a lot of money? I don't even want that guy. Those guys are too expensive. I just want an endless supply of these kind of quarterbacks. That's how I've been trending. That's my philosophy on football. If you're going to get cheap quarterbacks, they have to run the zone read. That's part of it. And I like that these guys can run the zone read and they can throw deep and they can throw on the run. I think it's a very, very potent combination. And whether or not Trey Lance can evolve past it, that's a different issue that may not even be relevant, because you could trade him at the end of this rookie deal for another guy just like him. I mean, Justin Fields just went 11th in the draft. You can get guys like this. That's what college produces, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Derek says, do you think we can package something for an offensive? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you think we can package something for an offensive tackle trade? If so, who, and trade who?
Do you think so?
I don't think they can get an offensive tackle anytime soon. I think they got to ride with Jalen Moore. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know who would be available. I mean, Orlando Brown was available earlier in the season. We saw he went for it. That was a massive contract and fit for the system, obviously. So maybe the biggest.
I'm losing you. Losing him. Oh. He gone. We'll see if he comes back. All right, let's move on. This is something I was talking about, and we'll save it for a second. Something that's worrying me a bit is there were a lot of plays where Trey could have ran for a first down or a big game but didn't take it. Is it Kyle's fault? Yeah, I'm concerned about that too. Like, dude, you need to go for it. And I don't know whether he's like trying to prove to Kyle that he can play quarterback conventionally or Kyle's telling him he needs to, but it's counterproductive. And I really liked on the 2-point conversion when he ran for it. It's like, dude, oh yeah, I can run for the score. That's what I'm going to do. And he did it. So I don't know. I think what's happening is he's just super inexperienced at everything. Pocket passing, he hasn't played very much. So I think you're kind of seeing like he understands football in theory, but then when it's time to scramble, that's new to him. Scrambling is new to him. Improvising is new to him. I think that's what we're seeing. Robert says, how hard is it for a quarterback to develop touch and fix spiral issues? Also, one positive in all of this is Trey's fast knuckleball is hard to intercept. That's a good question. Vish, they want to know how hard is it for a quarterback to develop touch and fix spiral issues? I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be too hard to take a little off on 5 to 10 yard throws. It shouldn't be too hard, but it's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, the ability to throw the ball over defenders, the ability to throw the ball over linebackers, that might be a pretty tough skill to learn. But the ability to just take a little off on a straight pass with no one in between you and a guy running a slant, I feel like that's doable. I don't know. I never played the position. I played baseball.
Yeah, I don't know either. I didn't play. I played soccer.
Yeah. Hold on. All right, let's move on. So we've talked a lot about Jimmy's plateau, maybe Trey Lance's lack of a big improvement from week 1 to week 2, although he did make some. I want to talk about the Niners quarterback coaches. It seems to me, Vish, that the Niners have some superstar position coaches on this team. The D-line coach is a superstar. The linebacker coach just became a coordinator, D'Amico Ryans. The tight end coach is the assistant head coach. He developed Kittle. The running back coach is a freaking legend. But the quarterback coaches, I don't know if they're up to that standard. I mean, they had Rich Scangarello. Then they replaced him with Shane Day. Now it's Scangarello again. Real quick, let me tell you what their backgrounds are. Neither one played football in college. Shane Day was a wide receiver in a wing T school and never played. I don't know if Scangarello played in high school. I can't find anything about it. And it's like, okay, you don't necessarily have to play to coach, but what do these guys really have to offer professional quarterbacks? I mean, maybe they're good coaches, but are they 2 of the 32 best quarterback coaches in the world? I don't think so. I feel like this is part of an issue with the 49ers right now. They need to get a better quarterback coach. What do you think?
I mean, again, I'm not sure how you can evaluate that. I think it's a difficult thing to evaluate because you're never really sure what the quarterback coach is doing and what the offense and the offensive coordinator is in control of in terms of fixing the quarterbacks and all that. And you're also not sure how much can a quarterback, really improve because for the most part, the Niners do maximize their quarterbacks. Now, this was something we talked about before the draft. Kyle Shanahan, has a history of maximizing every quarterback he's been with. But improving a quarterback is a very difficult skill, and it's certainly something that – can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can?
I mean, I just feel like we evaluate every position coach based on how their players improve. And I just don't see that the Niners have had any type of improvement.
Right,
I do. The Bills have it. I mean, look, Trubisky looks good after sucking. Allen improved. I mean, I understand it's tough to find a good quarterback coach, but I just feel like they haven't found one. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Where
Actually,
are the
fair
results?
enough. Fair enough. And to be
Yeah.
honest with you, you might be onto something here because again, I have to defer to you and other people who have greater knowledge on this just because I've never been in an NFL building. I don't know any of these things. But to not bring up a name I brought up earlier, as I've kind of established on this podcast, I like Christensen's what he has to say a lot. I know a lot of people don't like him now, especially because he was heavy on the Mac Jones. But I still listen to what he has to say. And one of his concerns when he talked about Fields and Lance, though I disagreed with him, especially on Fields, before the draft, was that he felt that there's just not a lot of quarterback coaches in the NFL who know how to get these quarterbacks better mechanically and all of that. And he said, I mean, to be fair, he said that with Lance, he said Kyle Shanahan around the Sims families, maybe he'll know a little bit more. But he said a lot of these coaches just don't know how to help quarterbacks and stuff. So maybe Rich Scangarillo is one of those
Maybe because
coaches.
they never played the position.
I have
I don't know.
absolutely no idea.
I feel like they're very similar. They're like the intellectual types who probably are good at.
Kyle Shanahan was quarterback coach for 1 year, and he was a wide receiver the entire time. And
it's a little tough to have a conversation, Vish. We're kind of on different wavelengths.
yeah,
here.
I mean, certainly a possibility.
Yeah. It's okay, man.
Yeah,
don't worry about it, man.
I'm
it happens.
Sorry, bro. That this
we'll try later this week. All right.
Yeah.
Let's try later this week. It's all right.
Yeah. We'll definitely do something. I'm free Wednesday. Hopefully our Wi-Fi is fixed by then. But
all right, yeah, we could do like the post practice thing. You know what I'm saying? After training camp. It's all right. We'll run it back. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Or by just let me.
Missed that. What'd you say? Okay, we'll get Vish later. I'm gonna continue on Mondays without Vish. I think the Niners need. I think these quarterback coaches are no good. I'm sorry. I think they're like the intellectual Silicon Valley type, where they're probably smart and they understand scheme, but how much do they really understand playing the position? Like, for example, the Niners do this drill in practice that to me has zero real world application. They have the quarterback, like, he shuffles right, he shuffles back, he shuffles forward. He's supposed to be mimicking pocket movement and avoiding rushers while holding the ball for like 7 seconds in the pocket. And then once they're done holding the ball for 7 seconds without leaving the pocket, they throw the ball all the way across the field to someone on the sideline so they can practice throwing pick sixes. What the hell is that? You don't ever hold the ball for 7 seconds while you shuffle around. If you hold the ball in the pocket, it's for like 3 seconds tops. And then when you're done, you're looking for a running back to dump the ball to. That's it. So, I mean, maybe they understand. Maybe they can conceptualize football well. They're good in theory, but they never played. And I don't think they have anything to really offer professional quarterbacks about how to improve. Like, where's the work with Trey Lance on touch? I've been at practice. They don't have drills for that. It's all about shuffle around for 7 seconds, then throw the ball as hard as you can across the field. That's great. That's because you see that all the time in game. I don't get that. You see them warming up, throwing to a bunch of stationary targets. I don't get it. I mean, Scangarello, he was a quarterback coach at Idaho or something for like 2 years. And then the Niners hired him as a quarterback coach. He's not a quarterback specialist. Shane Day was a quarterback coach for like 2 years on the Bears from 2010 to 2011, then went around the league and was coaching tight ends and stuff. And the Niners hired. It's like, you don't know any quarterback coaches? Kyle, you know great running back coaches, great tight end coaches, great defensive line coaches, great linebacker coaches. You don't know, your dad doesn't have anyone in his Rolodex who's a good quarterback coach? What's up with that? Makes me nervous about Trey Lance's development. Makes me nervous about freaking, I mean, not nervous, but I feel like it puts Jimmy in perspective. Jimmy never improved here. Who are his coaches? He got a good scheme. Definitely got a good scheme. Kyle Shanahan's system's terrific, but he's a system coach. And his quarterback coaches are not up to the same standard as his tight end coaches are. And I think you see the same thing with his offensive line coach. He hasn't found a good one. Maybe that's part of the reason why the Niners can't draft any good offensive lineman, because they can't develop them. Has Mike McGlinchey improved in the NFL? No. It's only gotten worse. Position coaches matter. Kyle has some good ones, but I don't think bringing back Rich Scangarello is a good move. No one else in the league really wanted that guy as a quarterback coach. He got an OC job, got fired, then got hired last year. He wasn't a quarterback coach with the Eagles. Anyway, teams will release many players as they cut down to 53. Do you think they will pick up an O lineman that way? They probably try to. They need to. I mean, they got Trent Williams coming back. They got Aaron Banks coming back. I don't know. I don't think they're giving up on any of these guys. They're like a couple weeks. They're week to week, so maybe not. Yeah, sorry, Vish. I really shouldn't discount Lance's intangibles like they did with Brady early on. Yeah, I mean, that's why they drafted him, because of those intangibles for sure. Tony says McVay was Kyle's best quarterback coach ever, and he was too short to play ball at high level. But he played college and he played quarterback in college. He did. Sean McVay played quarterback in college. He played ball. Can you think of any Kubiak disciple who was a good quarterback coach, minus McVay? Was Stefanski a quarterback coach? Was Andy Reid a quarterback coach? But that Andy Reid, was he a quarterback coach? Yep, he was. He was a quarterback coach with the Packers. So I don't really know what you're asking there. Can you think of any Kubiak disciple who was a good quarterback coach minus McVay? I don't know. But if we're blaming Jimmy for not developing, if we're worried about Trey Lance throwing fastballs all the time, maybe we should talk about who's coaching them, the drills they're going through every day. Maybe they should do less of that stupid shuffle drill. Rich says they never work on 3, 5, and 7-step drops. Yeah. They should work on scramble drills, getting the hell out of the pocket, not standing in there for 7 seconds, moving around. They got to get better at getting outside the pocket. That's what it's all about. Alex Smith, quarterback coach? Yeah. Or I don't think he wants to do the job, but he'd be good at it. Jeff Garcia would be good at it. They played the position. Jeff Garcia has something to share that would help Trey Lance. What is Scangarello? What in Scangarello's experience can help Trey Lance? Nothing. Once Jimmy is gone, who is a viable veteran backup for Lance? Not Nate Sudfeld. Talk about him in a minute. I don't know. They kind of blew that one. I still think Rosen's better than him. Thoughts on the O-line coach? He's been in the background for a while. It's his first year here. Let's see what he does. But he didn't make it work with Banks yet. So I don't know. He used to be a very highly regarded offensive line coach, but he kind of ruined his reputation. So let's see what he's got, if he's still got fire to be good. I don't know. Can we talk about the Richie James punt return? Yeah, it was good. But I think Travis Benjamin's taking the spot with that touchdown catch. All right, let's talk Nate Sudfeld. Yo, Nate Sudfeld's a problem. I don't understand why he's on the team. Like, when he plays, I feel like he has no sense of the game situation or competing, or it's practice to him. And if he does something ridiculous, it's like, oh, well, it's just a rep that doesn't count. I don't know. He doesn't seem like a leader. He doesn't seem like a quarterback. He seems awful. And he seems so bad that I was thinking, like, CJ Beathard was better than this guy. I was watching CJ the other day for the Jaguars. He's still terrible, but he's better than Nate Sudfeld. This guy fumbled a snap at a delayed game penalty, has some awful misses. I don't see it with him. And it's like, why did you spend 4 years developing and defending CJ Beathard, developing and playing Nick Mullins, to just give up on both of them and bring in some guy who's worse than him? Worse. Nate Sudfeld. You spent all that time and effort on CJ Beathard, making him look good, working with him, sending him to gurus, telling people he was good, telling people he was a lot like Kirk Cousins. Then you're like, all right, I was wrong. Let's bring in Nate Sudfeld, who's legitimately worse. How did that happen? I'm really questioning this whole quarterback decision-making process. Like, you kept Jimmy Garoppolo even though you don't like him, and he is continuing to play himself out of a starting job. You traded up for Trey Lance, who may not even be better than Justin Fields. You probably could have just stayed at 12 and taken someone just as good. I don't know if Trey Lance is ever going to be worth that number 3 pick. We'll see. Then you got rid of 2 backups and brought in a worse one. I don't know. And you got rid of Shane Day, who's a bad quarterback coach, and brought back the other guy. Don't you know someone better than that? I don't know. And the fact that Rich Gangarello, the first thing he wanted to do was bring in Nate Sudfeld. What does that say about Rich? That's who you thought was good? I don't know. The fact that Nate Sudfeld has nothing in common with Trey Lance is troubling because Lance is one of these quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, who's going to run a lot. You'd think the backup could do some of the same stuff because that's the offense now. But no, he's here running the would-be Mac Jones offense. They signed Nate Sudfeld maybe when Kyle Shanahan thought he was going to get Mac Jones. And then 3 weeks later, he checked social media. Was like, ooh, can't do that. Let me take Trey Lance. But I still have Nate Sudfeld just in case. I don't know. I just felt like Kyle always thought CJ Beathard was the greatest quarterback of all time. To dump him for Nate Sudfeld that's messed up. Also, remember how Kyle Shanahan used to call plays for CJ Beathard anytime he played, especially preseason. A lot of rollout dump-off passes that made him look like he was 11 for 13 when really Kittle was doing all the work. Where is that stuff for Lance? They've called one so far. He completed it to Richie James. Go back and watch CJ's starts in preseason. It's just the easiest throws of all time where he's getting outside the pocket left and right over and over and over again. But Lance has to stay in the pocket because he's not CJ. I just, Big Grant Cohn, what's up? Jeremy? Will says, think Rosen requested to be dropped? Maybe. I think Rosen needs to prove to the world that he really wants to play football. I think the NFL didn't like his attitude, and no one wants to really give him a chance to compete. No one really is going to give him a fair shot the way that Sam Darnold's getting a fair shot. So go to Canada. Go prove it like Jeff Garcia did. If you're really good, you'll win an MVP in Canada. You'll be back in a couple of years. And everyone will respect you for humbling yourself and going out and proving it. So I think the thing with Rosen is he throws too many picks. He needs a coach who basically finds him $10,000 for every pick, but also says to him, I believe you can be special. Here's my plan for you. He needs to feel like the coach is invested so he can prove the guy right. At the same time, there needs to be harsh consequences for interceptions for Josh Rosen because he throws too freaking many of them. $10K for every one. And if you can't afford it, he can afford it. He's made some millies in this league. $10K a pick, even in practice. Josh, they should do the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. It should be $100K a pick. $100K a pick every time Jimmy Garoppolo throws one in practice. Maybe that'll help him fix the problem. I should be a quarterback coach. I mean, hey, if Rich Gangarello can do it, why can't I? He was never a quarterback. Played Pop Warner, apparently. Melvin the Magnificent says, Grant, is there a way you can have Steve Young come on the Cohn Show? I think it would be awesome if you had some old Niners come on and get their take. Yeah, hopefully. I've interviewed him a few times. Maybe he will. I don't know. He's a very busy guy. I probably have to pay him a lot of money. Ethan says, do you think they're not letting Lance run full drives with the first string because the media's at practices still? He did. They did in the second one in LA. They gave him a full drive. They let him throw. I do think they waited as long as possible. I think they didn't want the media to see it. But Jimmy's been playing so poorly and throwing so many interceptions that they had to fast forward Trey Lance's development. That's what I think. They were hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo would afford them more time, and he's like, nope. I'm going down. Thank you for the 99 cents. I appreciate it. Marcus says, does JaMychal Hasty get a spot over Gallman or Mitchell? I think maybe Mitchell. Mitchell hasn't done anything. Mitchell's hurt. They could put him on IR or PUP. Jody says, Grant, my man, we need to remember Lance had not played a game in over a year, right? Don't we expect NFL to be another level of difficulty? Yes. And I do think he can improve. I just wonder about the coaching, really. They should make touch throws a point of emphasis. And I'm there in practice. I'm watching. They're not. That's all I'm saying. Come on. They should make scramble drills a point of emphasis, touch throws a point of emphasis. Nice and easy. It's like he's like Happy Gilmore learning how to putt. Okay, Happy. Nice and easy. He needs to go find his happy place at the amateur golf, mini golf place right now. Because right now he's throwing 5-yard slants like he's trying to knock the nose off that clown. If you know what I'm talking about at Happy Gilmore at the mini golf place, he's throwing those slants with anger. You need to chill. Go to your happy place. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo. That's you, Lance. Come on. Give it a little tappy. The first two Adam Sandler movies are really good. And then he went on an impressive streak of awful movies. I mean, I don't think anyone's made more bad movies than Adam Sandler. Hollywood just kept writing him checks like, oh, you want to make this stupid? Go for it, man. People love you. But those first two, do you think Lance looks over it when he goes to the sideline and Shanny starts talking to him? Yeah, man. I think he looks at the film. I think he's a hardworking, earnest young man. Okay, Ambry Thomas. This guy is another guy who's not improving. Now, maybe it's because the Niners have subpar defensive back coaches, but Ambry Thomas, what I'm seeing from him is a guy who's going to get called for, if he ever were to start this year, he looks like a guy who's going to give up one long pass a game and get called for one long pass interference a game. Also, it seemed like the Chargers were targeting him with their backups. Like they sensed a little blood in the water. If he plays opposite Jason Verrett, they're going to go after him a lot. And he is too grabby. I think he's going to commit a lot of penalty. He sees himself as Jalen Ramsey, this big press corner who can just get at the line of scrimmage and get in wide receivers' faces and manhandle them. But he's not manhandling anybody. He's just getting very close to them and then kind of missing and then grabbing and holding on. So I don't know if it's going to work out for him. Another guy's like, okay, so you have weaknesses. Let's see you work on them. Let's see you improve. Nope, didn't see that from him from week 1 to week 2. Same weaknesses from him. But Diamador Lenore looking good. Talanoa Hufanga looking good. Clinton Dix looking good. It's really just Ambry Thomas who is troubling. And it's this theme of young players not improving on the 49ers. And it's position specific. D-line guys all improve because of that position coach. Tight ends. Look at how much Ross Dwelly's improved. Look at how much George Kittle's improved. Linebackers. Running backs. They all improve. But corners? The Niners had to outsource Jason Verrett. Emmanuel Mosley's improved. But he's in and out. I don't know. I'd like to see some improvement from Ambry Thomas. Ambry, no more defensive pass interferences against the Raiders. How about that? No more long catches down the sideline either. Let's limit it to like short catches in front of you if you give up anything at all. Because Diamador hasn't given up anything at all. And he has an interception and a pass breakup. At least they got that going for him. Ambry, play better. Coach him up, guys. Do second-year players Jared Maiden or Jawan Jennings make a 53-man roster? They should. I think they're both really good. The fact that Jared Maiden had that, I think he's their secret. They felt, well, he's probably one of our 53 best players, but we can put him on the practice squad. Well, you have a near pick 6 in a preseason game. Maybe he's now on other people's radar. Maybe some other people liked him when he was coming out and they see him and they're like, well, he's improved. So they'd be smart to keep a spot for him because he also can play nickel. He's versatile. He can play special teams. Jawan Jennings, I think, will make the roster. He was on the 49ers game day pamphlet. I don't know, magazine. He was on the cover with his red hair. So I think they're promoting him. They really like him. Petty AF says, sorry, I meant annoyed. He looks like he's sick of Shanny already. Ooh. I don't know, man. Shanny's very negative, and that can turn off young people. You really need to give people positive reinforcement. I don't know. Interesting. Something to look for. I watched the game from home yesterday. I saw a lot of that TV stuff that you guys see, and I heard Tim Ryan talk. It's interesting. I'm usually very far away in the press box. Shivnor says, just joined in. After what you've seen, what is your all-encapsulating opinion of Trey Lance? He's the exact kind of quarterback I would want to build my team around. Young, on the rookie deal, cheap, can run the zone read big time. Can be a guy who runs for 800, 900, 1,000 yards, can get outside the pocket and just hit throws down the field, down the middle, across the field, anywhere, and can also function from the pocket as well. I'm not really into the idea of giving quarterbacks $500 million contracts, giving them $50 million a year. I don't really care. I want young quarterbacks who can run the zone read and have big arms like Kyler Murray. And then I'll trade him and get another one. That's the way I look at it. So Trey Lance is the exact kind of quarterback I would look for. Only thing that kind of complicates it is So is Justin Fields. Justin Fields looks terrific. He's got the same skill set. He's just more experienced. And you didn't have to trade up to 3 for Justin Fields. He went 11. The Niners had the 12th pick. They could have traded up 2 spots for Justin Fields. So that's interesting. Will it play out that he was 3 times better than 4 times better than Justin Fields? I don't know. And will he ultimately develop into the guy who can shred you from the pocket, shred you from outside the pocket, and doesn't run the zone read that much? Because once you're getting paid $40 million a year, the owner won't let him run the zone read. He's too important. Can't get hurt. He can run the zone read. He's making $6 million a year though, and he will. You'll see Trey Lance run the hell out of it. I really think if he starts this year, the quarterbacks who will have the most rushing yards in the league will be him, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray. Those 3 will lead the league in rushing yards for quarterbacks. And then what Lance and Murray can do that Jackson, in my opinion, can't is when they get out of the pocket, they can make rocket throws everywhere. And Jackson's a little more limited with his arm strength. So that's my kind of quarterback. It is the Colin Kaepernick model. It is the Michael Vick model. But the problem the Niners made with Kaepernick was trying to turn him into a pocket quarterback, giving him that big contract. That wasn't him. They should have traded him after his rookie deal and found another guy. They should have. They should have known that he wasn't going to transition into Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson made the transition. But they haven't won a Super Bowl paying him all that money. I'm just saying. And they won't. But he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Colin Kaepernick wasn't going to make that transition. They should have traded him and moved on and kept the same formula. Anyway, that's why I feel like I'm not Kaepernick failing. Yeah, he failed because he couldn't evolve the way he needed to justify that contract. Never should have got that contract. You don't have to do that to You don't have to give quarterbacks, Jed, you don't have to give quarterbacks all that money. There are other ways to do it. I'm just saying. Marcus, have you noticed any positive negatives about D'Amico's play calling during the game? Not yet. I'm curious week 1 to see what his pressures are on 3rd down and if they're effective. Because I've been pretty vanilla so far. Guy says, Carabel says, Trent Sherfield better make it. Oh, he will. He's obviously Trey Lance's favorite target. Yeah, because he can catch the ball. He can catch the ball, and he's fast, and he's good. Yep. Bo knows. Hey, what's up, Bo? Bo Jackson, everyone. Happy to join as a member. You're awesome to watch, Grant. However, I wish you would stop disrespecting Jimmy G. I guarantee you that Lance won't start week 1. He's not ready. Okay. All right. Well, I just feel like what's happening with Jimmy, though, is he's giving the job to Trey Lance, whether he's ready or not. That's the rub here. It's what happened with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has these, stretches where he's just dynamite. And then he'll have these stretches where he can't stop throwing interceptions and he gets himself benched. How many times has he done it? A lot of times. Since I was in high school. I feel like Jimmy's doing that right now. He's giving the Niners no option. Maybe I'm wrong. Mac Trey will be the best QB out of this draft class. Perhaps. All I got to say is I bet you the Jets are pretty happy with Zach Wilson right now. Zach Wilson's over there looking like Aaron Rodgers right now. And I think Kyle's feeling a little, I got to make this work with Trey. I got to make him look good now because all the other quarterbacks are looking good. Mark says our starting wide receivers suck at scramble drills. Are you seeing them work on that? Trey scrambled and Debo stood there. Yeah, man, they don't work on that. They're not used to it because Jimmy doesn't do that. They don't work on it. Meanwhile, you got scramble drills left and right in Chicago. I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned. I don't know if these guys, if the Niners are really ready to support Trey Lance and get the best out of him because they're sort of asking him to play in ways he shouldn't, in ways that are just going to make him look bad, in my opinion. All right, last one. Robbie Gould. Now, we all know Robbie Gould's my hero. He's going to retire with $50 million because he kicks footballs accurately through uprights. I mean, only in America, right? That's great. What an American success story. He's like the Great Gatsby of people who specialize in foot stuff. I mean, wow. Kicking oblong balls through uprights, $50 million. That's great. Thing is, though, he's not kicking those footballs so accurately anymore. He missed an extra point last week. He missed an extra point this week. In my expert opinion, he's going to have to kick the footballs more accurately in the future. I don't think he's really doing it well. And why? I don't know. Robbie, figure it out. I don't do that. You're the one that's made all the money. He clearly wants to be seen as a Hall of Famer. He's kicking the kickoffs now. He's trying to show he's not limited. He's wanting to show that that leg strength. Well, kick it through the uprights, Robbie. That's my coaching point. The uprights, you want to get it between them. When it goes outside, that doesn't count for points. You heard it here first, Robbie. Kick the field goals better. I don't know. Is it the long snapper's fault? Probably not. Is it the holder's fault? I'm thinking probably not, although it could be. I'll have to get the all 22 and really grind that special teams tape, but they need to figure it out. I think the problem is that Robbie Gould is just distracted by me. He's out there thinking, man, Grant's the best. I can't wait to go inside and watch Grant on YouTube. Enough. You need to, no more watching. You need to do your homework first, mister, before you come back over here and watch your entertainment. I know I'm a very entertaining show over here, but you're missing. You can't watch this show until you make your next 3 field goals. So I'm saying, I'm trying. This is quality control, Robbie. I take personal responsibility. Ever since me and you have had these amicable conversations on the sideline at practice, you've been missing kicks. It's my fault. As quality control, I'm supposed to keep all you guys on your toes. Robbie, quality control. Make the field goals. It's my fault. You know what I mean? You share a kind word with someone, they think your buddy, all of a sudden they're slacking, missing extra points. The only reason Robbie Gould was at a record-setting pace with the Niners is because he was afraid that he would end up in my good, not so good section, in my grades afterwards. You know what? You're in it, buddy. You're in it now. I told you what to do different. Kick it better. So you can't say that I didn't help. Sherfield reminds me of John Taylor in a way. Is it just me or no? That's lofty. What I like about Trent Sherfield is he's in phenomenal shape. Like, he works out harder than everyone. Very fast, very strong. He can jump very high, and doesn't seem to drop the ball. Seems like he's not making mistakes. He's running his routes the right way as opposed to everyone else on the team. He's consistent. I don't know how many routes he can run well. I don't know if he can beat like starting caliber cornerbacks in the NFL, but he's just roasting backups. So I think he's probably a good number 3 receiver. I wouldn't want him to start. I don't think he's there yet. But John Taylor's an all-time great. He's in the Niners Hall of Fame. I'm not putting Trent Sherfield in the Niners Hall of Fame just yet. Robbie Gould, he could get there one day, but he's going to have to make more field goals. That's the way it goes. Matt says, aren't we supposed to run the ball down everyone's throat and play great D? We proved we can make the Super Bowl with mediocre quarterback play. What's changed? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. You think Lamar Jackson runs the ball a lot? You think Kyler Murray runs the ball a lot? Wait till Trey Lance plays, because they're testing him right now in the pocket. He's not exactly passing the test. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments too. And so when it counts and he's going against real starters in real games, they're going to run him so much. And it's the best thing to do. It's the only way that he's going to have success early on. Maybe when he's 25, he'll be like Josh Allen. But right now, the way I see him is I wouldn't expect him. To me, he's Carson Wentz plus the ability to run the zone read. He's like a combination of Carson Wentz and Lamar Jackson. That's a damn good talent. It may not be someone you want to give $40 million to a year down the line, but I don't want to give that to any quarterback. So who cares? A Carson Wentz with the ability to run the zone read and average 6 yards a carry, you can do a lot with that if he's making $6 million a year. You can do a lot with that. But he's a lot like Carson Wentz, I think. Little mechanical in the pocket, little uncomfortable. But as soon as he's on the run, the throws are supernatural. He can bomb it all over the field. Only difference is you don't run Carson Wentz on the zone read because he'll get hurt. Trey Lance will run that 8 times a game, and he'll be good at it. As good as Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray, which is nice. I think it's a really, really good part of the game. It's a cool way to average 6 yards a carry. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Only thing is, your quarterbacks won't last long term. I don't care. Sorry, that's not PC. I'm just saying it's football. I want him to run the ball. Everyone else runs the ball. You got to run the ball too. You're one of the most athletic players on the team. If you know, and then I'll just get another one. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys. We tried with Vish. It was bound to happen like this anyway. He's in college. It's okay. We'll work it out. We'll just plan better next time. Thank you for sticking with me. I will be back later. I don't want to say when. You never know. I could be back here in 2 hours or tomorrow. We'll see. But Kyle Shanahan's talking on a conference call in 25 minutes. So let me participate in that. And if anything interesting happens, I will tell you guys what's up. If you want to join the YouTube channel, it's 99 cents a month. You get like badges and emojis and stuff that really will enhance your YouTube experience. And if you pay $1.99 a month, you also get access to my Discord channel, which let me tell you, it's the best place on the internet. It's the most wholesome, intelligent football discussion, life discussion period out there. Why is Hasty getting so many touches? Are they trying to evaluate him? Is there injuries among the running backs? Yeah, there's injuries. Sermon's injured. Mostert's almost 30. They don't want to overuse him. Elijah Mitchell's injured. There's injuries. Good question, though. I'm a Conehead, and I love it. Appreciate you, man. Melvin the Magnificent, a Conehead. Hey, if it's good enough for Melvin, good enough for you. All right, guys. What is that hold up thing? I don't know. Oh, are those emojis that don't show up on StreamYard? Oh. Anyway, I'll be back later, guys. It'll be interesting to see what Shanahan says in 20 minutes. I'll let you know. I'll post the conference call. How about that on YouTube?